What's up, guys? You are watching Fight Feed. Today, I'm going to be showing you the scary power of Black Beast Derrick Lewis. In order to show you the power of the Black Beast Derrick Lewis, what I'm going to go through with you guys today is his devastating KO over Curtis Razor Blaydes that happened back in 2021. We're going to go through the finishing sequence that ends up putting Curtis Blaydes starched out cold, and I'm going to kind of just give you guys my point of view on the scary power that Derrick Lewis possesses. I hope that you guys enjoy this. Make sure you give this video a like if you do enjoy. And then also, if I could just ask you guys really quick, if you're new to Fight Feed, I truly would appreciate your subscription here because I post a ton of MMA content. And if you've made it here, you are likely an MMA fan. So I would appreciate a subscription from you. Do not feel pressure to do so. But if you do, I promise that I will continue to give you a lot of entertaining MMA content. Let's go ahead and dive in. Now, going through this KO that the Black Beast delivers, there's something that I've kind of noticed after I've gone through this now, guys, is that Derrick Lewis, I feel like, although he can be a bit plotty at times, he doesn't get enough credit for some of the traps and engagements he bestows on the feet. For instance, what I'm going to show you guys here before we watch this knockout is right before the KO, and by the way, for any of you who haven't seen this fight, Derrick Lewis knocked out Curtis Blaydes in the first round, I believe. Now, what Derrick Lewis did really well in the beginning of this fight is this right here. Watch his hand and watch like this part of his body, his shoulder, his right hand, from the orthodox stance, he's got all the power in that right hand, okay? So watching that hand, you're going to see Derrick goes like this. He throws this feint, right? Watch that one more time for you guys. So we're watching this hand here. We're going, watch how he kind of ducks in, okay? And he kind of feints that right overhand, okay? And the reason he's doing that, obviously, a lot of you who understand striking and stuff, you'll think that this is a very basic thing because it is. But Derrick, he's got his laser focus here on Curtis. And what he's trying to get Curtis to do is react to this feint, right? To see what he can kind of potentially draw out of Derrick or draw out of Curtis. And in this fight, guys, Curtis Blaydes was doing a lot of shooting for takedowns, but not shooting with, how do I say it? He was shooting these takedowns that were very risky for him because he's kind of putting himself in the way of that power that's coming from Derrick Lewis, okay? And so what Derrick Lewis does so great here, he's clearly watching, and then he throws this feint, okay? That's a feint. And watch how, now I want you guys to watch Curtis Blaydes, right? As Derrick lifts that arm, he goes instantly into shell mode. He goes instantly into cover, the guard, right? And before this occurred in the fight, Derrick was also drawing out with that same feint and getting Curtis to shoot for takedowns, okay? And I actually know a lot of this too from just listening to Derrick's post-fight interviews and other interviews he's done. He talks about the fact that him and his coach Bob Perez trained this right-hand uppercut that he landed on Curtis. They trained this the entire camp, and I think that they found a very great way to draw / evoke a reaction from Curtis. Okay. So that's the first thing I just want to call out before we get into the knockout. So Derrick throws that feint, and then what happens right after this, guys, and I do want to apologize if this is like weird looking or super close up. I have to do my best to get clips and then also show these clips in a way where I'm not going to get hit with copyright. So we saw that initial thing, right? We saw that thing. What you're going to see here, guys, is the same thing done over from Derrick, okay? So it's hard to tell because he's already kind of in the motion here, but the angle switches, and what Derrick's doing here, he's lifting that shoulder up again. He's lifting this right hand up again. Oh, fuck. So he goes to throw that same, not really throw, but he goes to do, at this time he's committing to it, right? But I think the goal of it was he's throwing that to get Curtis to do exactly what he does here. It's to get Curtis to shoot for a takedown that is not like a standard type of takedown, right? I think what what Curtis is probably thinking in this moment, guys, is look, here's Curtis reacting to the first feint where Derrick throws. Derrick's mimicking a overhand, okay? He kind of drops, throws over. So you got Curtis going like this, and he shells up. He shells up here. And what Derrick does right after this, he does the same thing again, and you're not going to be able to tell because of how the angle switches from the UFC cameras. But this is just a cutaway to a close-up. I don't know why it's so close. But what Derrick does, he's doing it again. So you can't see it, but he's doing that same like drop motion to throw the overhand. And this time, Curtis shoots for a takedown. He sees this go up, and he's going for a takedown, which from a fight IQ perspective actually is a good read as a wrestler. But Curtis, I think, did himself a disservice by biting on those feints from Derrick that he was throwing, in the beginning of this fight. He's biting those feints so hard. So now he thinks that, okay, he's throwing this overhand, like he feinted, now he's going to throw the overhand. And what Derrick does so fucking masterfully, guys, he, instead of throwing it over, he kind of gets that body in position. But dude, right here, the Black Beast is like almost fucking charging up the chakra to throw this this uppercut. And dude, this is like, how do I explain? And this is why I made this video, guys. It's just a scary type of power that Derrick Lewis possesses. Obviously, you got a guy who's 265 pounds. No matter what, I mean, if you're 100 and even 170 pounds plus, like you have every 10 pounds after 170, you have a better chance of like being able to KO somebody, just given the fact that, if you have any type of technique in your punching or your kicking, like you're putting a lot of weight behind whatever that is that you're throwing, okay? But to have Derrick Lewis, who's 265, 6'3", 265, just like the way that he throws this uppercut, and just like, dude, the way he lands this is crazy to me, because it's like when we watched it live, guys, this did not even look like, I don't know, I guess, when you watch something live and you're not going frame by frame the way I am, it was like nuts, because what happens is Curtis charges this up. Not Curtis. Sorry, guys. Derrick Lewis charges this. I don't know why, but Derrick and Curtis, for some reason, is like, they're like the same name almost. I have no idea. Like, I keep getting them confused. Derrick fucking throws this bitch. And like the way this punch was thrown is kind of like if I saw two dads who were having a squabble, and like the one dad is just like, yeah, just throws it, right? Like, I don't know why, but it's just, that's how it looks. But he connects on the chin. It's like the perfect connection that you could have for this uppercut. And instantly, Curtis's body, like right here, guys, he's already out cold. He's already out cold. And I just remember screaming, guys, because like my friend didn't think Derrick Lewis was going to win. Because I think, when you go into a fight like that where you have a guy like Curtis who's very well-rounded in all aspects. He's got striking, he's got wrestling. But Derrick just throws this uppercut from fucking hell, guys, and connects right on the chin and sends Curtis down. Like he is already, like, look at this, his head. Boom. Look at his head bounce. You guys see that? I'm just going real slow. Boom. And then like the toes. Another thing I want to say, guys, I almost feel like because I've watched the amount of fights that I've watched, and because I've basically dedicated my personal life, obviously making content, and then also just before making content, I've dedicated like every Saturday to being a fan of MMA, watching all of these fights. I feel I'm an expert in knowing when someone's knocked the fuck out before it happens, right? Like, actually, when Kamaru got head kicked by Leon, I know it happens fast, right? But as he got kicked, Instantly, Kamaru's arm or his hand goes like this, and it goes like up, and he's like, and I screamed, like, he's knocked the fuck out, he's knocked the fuck out. And like, I was watching with a couple people like, no, he's okay, he's all right. And then he like hit the ground, and then everyone realized he was knocked out. I knew the second I saw like the way his hand was in that knockout, he does that thing where it's like when you get KO'd, it's like the fencing or the posturing, I guess it's called, is like your brain is like just fucking shut off. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know if that's exactly what that means, but I know seeing it enough, you know when someone's out cold. And like this right here, the stiff fucking feet, that's a clear sign as well. The hand, this is it too. This is the posturing I'm talking about, right? You've got the fucking hands locked up. There's no, he's out cold. And then look, his leg is like completely stiff here. His toes are stiff. Yeah, fuck, man. And Derrick throws some super necessary, right on the chin and just sends him on his way. That is some scary power, guys, because Derrick's not loading up in the way that where it's like coming all the way back here and throwing it like that. He's kind of just like he drops his arm just ever so slightly and just goes up. But it's that weight, and I think he just has that genetic power that a lot of normal human beings don't possess. But he connects and he sends him packing for the night. That was a devastating KO by the Black Beast, Derrick Lewis. And then he cuts a great, that's Herb Dean's fault. Everyone knows that line. The next thing I want to show you guys, and it's not even really going to be showing, it's going to be listening. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is immediately after the knockout, you got like Brendan Fitzgerald and Michael Bisping cutting the promos for the UFC, because they're on the commentary bench. This is something I found later on, and I want to show you guys. Because as fans of this sport, guys, this is where it's like we have to, especially because us being the talking heads on YouTube, or even you guys as fans that might not be making content, we're all fans at the end of the day. And I think there's a majority of us who have trained, like I've gone and done like trials at, MMA gyms. I've done like kickboxing at MMA gyms for like a month trial. Cause when I did this, I just did not have the extra funds to go to a gym. And currently I'm not in a spot where I can like comfortably afford like a $200 a month membership to go learn, jujitsu and stuff like that. But I do plan to, when I am in that position, to go and actually, join one of these gyms because I love it. I think it's fun. I'm not a fighter. I am not a fighter. I'm not someone who likes to fight. When you grow up with an older brother who whoops your ass, you understand where I'm coming from. Every fight you go into, it's like you're not winning that fight type of thing, especially when you're three years younger. And, I was also way smaller anyways. We have to have respect, guys, for this sport and these fighters, because this is what I'm about to show you guys is pretty brutal. And honestly, I don't even know if it's going to translate well from my video. So what I would implore you guys to do is go watch this fight and listen closely after the knockout. Listen very closely. You will hear Curtis Blaydes fighting demons in his dreams while he's knocked out on the octagon. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying like it legit sounds like he's in a nightmare. It's very scary. It's very scary. So like I said, guys, I can't show you this, but I am going to play this out loud. And okay, like I said, this might not translate well because I had to record, I had to do a screen recording of this. So the audio is a little muffled. Okay. You're going to hear Derrick Lewis say that's Herb Dean's fault. You're going to hear Michael Bisping kind of come over right after he says that, kind of talking about the knockout. But I want you to just listen closely to the, you're going to hear, that's what you're going to hear. That's Curtis fucking Blaydes dying in the background.
When you deliver as much power as Derrick Lewis, Curtis is as much.
You hear that?
Deliver as much power. Deliver as much power.
So that's just one part of it. When I jump to 11 seconds, I think it is.
Curtis shoots it.
You hear it again. And guys, the reason I am pausing quite a bit, and I apologize, is just if you're a content creator, you understand UFC's got their shit on lockdown. Like if you try to show any type of thing, any type of audio, they've got everything fucking copyrighted.
Take a look at it. Curry shoots it from a distance. He sees it. Boom!
So it's right there.
Curry shoots it. Two heavy shots. Uppercut to the dome, to the chin. He was unconscious there. He was already unconscious. And then three. He was already unconscious to the dome, to the chin. Deliver as much power as Derrick. Deliver as much.
So there you have it, guys. I just want to show that because I feel like we got Black Beast fighting this Saturday. I had to make a video just kind of showcasing just one example where the Black Beast is just, his power is a different type of power that I feel like, you know, at heavyweight is obviously somewhat par for the course because of his size. But I do think when you consider the fact that he has the most knockouts in UFC history, Derrick Lewis is kind of in a league of his own when it comes to the power he possesses. And like I said, to throw an uppercut, like I said, he's not throwing one of these bad boys where he's going all the way up. Like he's just kind of dropping a little bit and just feeding him that uppercut. But it's that power he possesses that, like if you guys have seen my pick video for this week, I had to go with Derrick Lewis based off the fact that he's not the fastest, he's not the most technical, but when you're fighting a guy, especially in Talison Teixeira, who's kind of got your chin in the air, that is a recipe for disaster going up against the Black Beast. Like I said again, guys, the audio might not be perfect here. I do appreciate you guys hanging out. I wanted to make sure I could break down a few things and give Derrick Lewis his flowers in terms of how he found that KO or set it up. But I also wanted you guys to hear that brutal, like, moaning from Curtis after he got KO'd. And like I said, if you're not hearing it that well on this video, it's very, very likely. So what I would say is go watch this fight, guys, and listen very closely, like on your phone or wherever you're watching. You will hear even more than what I just showed here. You will hear a lot more of Curtis kind of hitting that, like, it's horrifying to hear because I think that type of reaction or like that type of thing to happen in a UFC fight in the apex, it gives me so much more respect for the fighters because it's like, that's how gruesome this sport is. Like that could be anybody, that any person who steps in that octagon that gets caught with a shot like that could be anyone. And I feel like as fans, that is where we have to take a step back, try to really understand and respect what these men are doing, and men and women, and give them their flowers when we can, is my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Make sure you also comment below, what are some of the craziest knockouts or brutal moments you've seen in the UFC? Like, how do those pair up or compare to this? And also, if there's other knockouts from other fighters you would like me to do a breakdown of or review, I would be happy to. So I would love to see your guys' comments on that. And also, if you are not subscribed yet, I would truly